Irouléguy AOC wines come from Lower Navarre in the Northern Basque Country, France, and are usually considered as part of the wine region of southwest France. They are named after the village of Irouléguy and the only wines with AOC certification in the Northern Basque Country. Irouléguy wines are often referred to as coming from the smallest vineyard in France, the biggest in the Northern Basque Country. Currently about 550,000 litres are produced annually, with about 70% of production being red wines, 20% rosé and 10% white. History. The history of winemaking in the area goes back to at least the 3rd century when the Romans commented on winemaking in the area. It was boosted by monks of the Abbey of Roncesvalles in the 11th century who planted the first large-scale vineyards to provide wine for pilgrims traveling along the Way of St. James. Following the Treaty of the Pyrenees in 1659, the monks had to give up winemaking and the vineyards, which were taken over by the local villages. During its peak in the 17th century, the Irouléguy vineyards comprised some 500 hectares of cultivated land. The production of wine had been boosted considerably by the then Viscount of Erdos, who encouraged the locals to grow grapes even on the steep slopes. The 18th century saw relatively high levels of employment in the area due to increased mining activity, further boosting the consumption and thus production of local wine. But the following period was marked by constant decline and the vineyards were hit hard by the Great French Wine Blight in 1912 and by the 1980s. Only some 70 hectares were still in cultivation. A cooperative was formed in 1952 under the lead of Alexander Bourgoignon to rescue the situation and to work towards certification. The wines of Bégorry, Anhors and Irouléguy were awarded AOVDQS certification in 1953 and Irouléguy was granted AOC status in October 1970. Today, some 210 hectares of land are cultivated again in the area. Prior to AOC certification, a much larger number of varieties were grown, including Croxanta, P. Carpota, Camalois, Mansinger, Bordelza, Hermantar and Pinot Belzer. Location. Of the 15 wine-growing municipalities in the Irouléguy region, only the following 9 grow Irouléguy vines on a total of 210 hectares: Anhors, Saint-Étienne de Bégorry, Ascaret, Irouléguy, Badéry, Espoir, Jaxou and Saint-Martin d'Arosso. The other municipalities grow other vines. The vineyards are often located on extremely steep slopes with inclines of up to 60 degrees. This has led to the development of special growing and terracing techniques by Basque wine growers to enable the cultivation of vines on these slopes. Wine. Red grape varieties include Bordelesa Belzer, Axaria and Axaria Handia, while white wines are made from Zuri Zeratia, Iscariota to Pear and Iscariota. They are cultivated on terraces between 100 to 400 meters above sea level, and although the soils vary, one of the chief characteristics of the soils in the region is a deep red coloration. This fact is mirrored in the name of the nearby town of Bégorry, which is a contraction of Beilara Gori, Red Terrace.